The Sacramento Kings are able to go down to Milwaukee and hold off the Timberwolves. The Sacramento Kings head out to Minnesota and are able to hold off the Timberwolves in a game that goes into overtime. Without De'Aaron Fox, the Kings are able to close out the game and close out the win against the Western Conference #1 team. Did you see that? Did you see how Malik Monk had 39 points? He went ahead and took it upon himself to absorb some of that De'Aaron Fox scoring that we're missing. Good on you, Malik Monk. That's what's up. In Minnesota, the Sacramento Kings pull out the victory in overtime, 124-120 versus the Timberwolves, which puts the Timberwolves at 42-18, and the Sacramento Kings are currently 34-25. Right now, today, which is Monday, the Sacramento Kings are in 6th place with a bunch of big losses last night from some of the teams in the Western Conference, like the Mavericks and the Warriors and the Suns all losing games. Helps the Kings elevate a couple spots. And the Thunder is still in 1st place, but only a half a game. Actually, the Thunder are now in 1st place with the Timberwolves a half a game behind them. Today is March 4th. 2024, and I'm back with you guys. Y'all back? We back. Y'all back? We definitely back, and I appreciate you being here with me. Go ahead and click that like button. Hopefully you're here for the whole video. I got some good things to say, and I want to say thanks for joining me. And what's going on, YouTube? What's going on with all my folks and all you Kings fans out there? It's your guy, Jay Woods, aka Shy the Man, and I'm back at you with another episode of the Kings Morning After Midday Cup of Joe with Jay.
Love it.
Y'all know what day it is. It's Monday. Motivational Monday.
Baby, I'ma be a motivation.
Yeah.
Go.
Get motivated. Motivational Monday today.
Motivation. Go.
Get motivated. Time to handle your goals. Time to take care of business. Ooh, yeah, that cup is good today. Nice and warm after a great Kings victory out there in Minnesota, in cold-ass Minnesota. Oops. And just to be honest with you guys, I'm just really proud of how the Kings went out there and played. We didn't have De'Aaron Fox, and they didn't have Anthony Edwards for about 3/4 of the game. He left early. Rumors are his wife is pregnant and may have gone into labor, so he wasn't injured. He left for personal reasons. So, but we didn't have De'Aaron Fox, so in that way it was kind of even still. The Kings went out there and handled business against a Western Conference rival, and originally was the #1 team going into this game. And I really liked how players like Malik Monk stepped in to fill the void. Keegan Murray was out there balling. And these guys came together after their player meeting that they had a couple of days ago and didn't just talk. They went out on the court and showed and handled business. They took it seriously. They didn't play down. Well, I mean, this is #1 team, so you can't really play down to the competition in this game, but They didn't come out lackadaisical. They came out ready to handle business. They came out serious, and they came out like professionals ready to play. And guys stepped up and stepped in De'Aaron Fox's absence. So that's my cup of Joe. One creamer, no sugar. Quick stats. So even though Minnesota had 6 guys in double figures, they scored a healthy amount of points. The Kings just scored more. The Kings did a good job in closing out the first quarter in the lead. They lost the lead a little bit, and at the end of the second, it was I want to say it was tied at halftime. And then, but they went up in the third, and then at the end of the game, Minnesota actually was able to close out the game, and they were able to tie the game and sent the game into overtime. But in overtime, the Kings had enough points to go ahead and beat the Timberwolves. Leading scorer for the Timberwolves was Jaden McDaniels with 26. Karl Anthony Towns had 19 points. Naz Reid with 18 off the bench. Rudy Gobert with a big 16 rebounds. And Mike Conley with 8 assists. And leading scorer for the Kings, Malik Monk with a big 39 points on the night. Domantas Sabonis, the center, with 21 points. Captain Sabonis holding it down as usual with 15 rebounds, big 8 assists. Keegan had 17, and Harrison Barnes had 14 on the night. Davion Mitchell with a big 16 points for him off the bench. Excellent job for Davion Mitchell. It'd be nice to get that kind of scoring out of him on most nights. Hopefully he can pick it up and keep it there. Keon Ellis got to start this game. He only scored 2 points, but he did have 7 assists. Did decent job on defense. Kevin Huerter only 8 points, but Kevin Huerter was still active out there. He had 6 rebounds, and he was making some good passes and doing some other things on defense. He even caught an alley-oop at one point. It was cool to see. Kevin Duarte had a little time. He didn't score any points. We got to get Chris Duarte going, I believe. Off the bench, we got to get his scoring up. Alex Len got to play, which was good to see him out there. And Trey Lyles was out there doing his dirty work. Team stats, neither team really shot that great from field goal percentage. They were both about 50%. 3-point shooting was decent. Kings 38. Timberwolves about 38, 39%. Free throws, Kings, as usual, did not shoot good from free throw at all with only 54 points, 54%. Timberwolves had a decent 75, which is not that great either, but it was better than the Kings. They actually get 24 free throws, which was 11 more than the Kings, which is kind of interesting. Sometimes that can affect the turnout of the game, but it didn't in this situation. Most of the other stats were pretty much the same. Timberwolves had 12 turnovers, Kings had 7. Kings did have about 14 more points in the paint, though, with 68-54, which is kind of interesting. At this point, I think you could pretty much say the Kings are a paint team. We get most of our points in the paint, and they're also a 3-point shooting team. Kings are a post up first, D and 3 team. That's how I described them. I test. I test. Yeah. I test. I test. I test. I'm going to give the Kings an eye test. Watching this game, I saw a lot of defense. I saw some double teams. I even saw a lot of help defense, triple teams, guys coming over to help down low, which is exactly what this team needs. Guys were closing out well on defense, and they were staying with their guys. Domantas Sabonis was staying on Gobert. Gobert didn't go have a crazy night. Karl Anthony Towns didn't have a crazy night, and that's because of Harrison Barnes and Trey Lyles' defense. It was good to see Keegan Murray out there. Keegan Murray is looking more and more athletic every game. He's driving to the basket. He's doing things like stealing the ball and going down court dunking, stuff De'Aaron Fox used to do a lot of. And I really like how Keegan Murray is developing. The only thing I would ask for Keegan Murray is maybe a little bit more aggressive on offense. Don't pass as much. Go ahead and take the ball. You know, you're that scoring option. You're one of our scoring options. So instead of getting the ball and maybe dishing it off to somebody else, we don't have any other guys cutting or moving. Take that ball to the basket. Try to create some offense. He's doing a good job of doing things like shooting, posting up, and going to the basket and playing great defense. So I like how Keegan is looking. I'm not sure why Davion doesn't score this many points when he starts, but he comes off the bench and he's like, hey, I should be starting. And he gets 16 points. And Keon Ellis is the one that can't score. So as long as De'Aaron Fox is out, and I believe he's out again for tonight's game, we got to get that backup point guard going. I'm okay with Keon Ellis starting just because he's a little longer, rangy, good defense, kind of similar to De'Aaron, but he has to pick up his scoring a little bit, in my opinion. Shooting, driving to the basket, something. Kevin Huerter, he's doing good things on defense, and he's helping with the playmaking and passing. But I feel like he's still in the slump, or went back into the slump where he's not really shooting that great and he's not really scoring that many points. Hopefully Kevin Huerter can pick it up. But like I said, he's doing good things. He's not playing a whole lot at the end of the games. He kind of complained a little bit about that last week, about not playing very much at the end of the games, but you got to pick up your defense. I think that's one of the reasons is defensively. And you got to hit your shots. When you got your opportunity out there, you got to take advantage. And I think that's a little bit of what's going on with Kevin Huerter. And other than that, Trey Lyles coming in playing dirty work, and Malik Monk, our dog, coming in the game, taking it upon himself to absorb some of that De'Aaron Fox scoring and getting 39-point game, almost scoring 40 points in the game. So good on our dog, Malik Monk. And that's my eye test. Bottom line, the Kings morning after. Bottom line. Today's bottom line is kind of like I said in the last video, are in a very volatile Western Conference where every win means something and every loss means something. A loss could drop you down the charts 4 places. A win could prop you all the way up to 3rd, 4th place, 5th place. So they need to take every game seriously, just like they did tonight. This game, they showed intensity, they showed grit, they showed defense, and they showed scoring potential, especially from certain guys. So they fought. They showed they're not trying to lose. They're not, even without De'Aaron Fox, they kind of willed their way to this game, to victory. So that shows they can do things like that. Mentally tough, will your way to some of these victories. Even without your star, De'Aaron Fox, your number one guy, you still have other guys that can step in, and this game showed that. So it's another blueprint game. Use this game as a blueprint for the games to follow. Good thing about the Kings, even though they have a hard record, the opponents that are coming up are pretty good teams. They do play a lot of teams at home in this last third of the season. So they got a lot of home games, which is good for the Kings. And that's my bottom line. Next up, Monday tonight, March 4th, 2024, the Sacramento Kings are at home playing the Chicago Bulls, 7 p.m. tonight. Be there or be square. And also check out my review the next day after the game. Click subscribe so that you can see that video when it comes out the next day. And I'll review and analyze that game as well. The Chicago Bulls are anchored by DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. They also have Nikola Vucevic, and Lonzo Ball, who I believe is injured. Alex Caruso, who's decent three-point shooter and defensive player. Kobe White, Andre Drummond off the bench, and a few other pretty decent players. This team is currently in 9th place in the Eastern Conference with a losing record of 28-32. I'm going to go ahead and say it. The Kings are at home, and this is a team that they should beat. This is not a team that they should take lightly, but this is a team that they should beat. The Kings have a better record, and they overall have better players. Keys to victory of this game is going to be don't let DeMar DeRozan, who's like a mid-range master, you can't let him get to his spots and hit his shots. Can't let him be comfortable in the mid-range game. Zach LaVine, you're going to have to keep him outside at three-point line, but close out good and stay in his face. Don't let him drive to the basket easily. Put a chest on him. Vucevic usually plays Domantas Sabonis well, but you can't let him dominate in the post and low position under the basket. Keep him out of the key, and keep DeMar DeRozan under 20 points. You keep Zach LaVine under 20 points, Vucevic under 10 rebounds, and the Kings could definitely win this game. And they're at home. They need to hold down their home court, show that mental toughness that they showed last game at home, and show this team, hey, we're one of the top guys in the Western Conference. We're not going to let you come in here and do anything. We're going to stifle you on defense. We're going to go to the basket. We're going to use our post and paint game, and we're going to hit open shots. The Kings game. And those are some keys to victory for the Kings. And the Sacramento Kings are favored in this game to win by 6.5. So if you did a spread bet, you'd have to bet at least 7 points for the Kings. You have to think that the Kings are going to win by at least 7 points. They would need to win by 7 points for you to win. Or if you just do a straight up bet, it's negative 265. So if you just did a straight up bet and you bet $10, you would win, and they win straight up, you would win 377, negative 110. So if I wanted to do $10 bet with a line like that, okay, I said it wrong. You would win 90% of your bet. You would get $9.09. You bet them to win the spread of at least 7 points. And I do all the betting on Bet US. That's where I go to do all my sports betting. They have a wonderful site and app that I use if I want to bet boxing, football, basketball, anything, any sport. And I live in California. I wasn't able to bet on some of the other sites, but Bet US lets me bet. If you want to bet also, use the link below. They'll give you some extra cash, and plus it helps out the channel. Thank you. All right, I got a question. I got to know, how do you feel about the Kings' current status, especially after this win against the #1 team? They had a big loss versus Denver, which was a little saddening because I thought they had their number. Just looked like they couldn't really do it without De'Aaron Fox. Just not enough scoring. They didn't even score 100 points. But this game against the #1 team, #2 team currently, they looked a lot better. I mean, they looked like guys were hungry. They weren't going to let each other down, and they went out there and balled. So how do you feel? Do you feel the Kings? I was a little down on them last week. I was like, I feel like these guys are going to end up in the play-in game, 8th, 9th, 10th, somewhere in there, the way the West Coast was moving. Everybody was just moving up. Now, all of a sudden, they're in 5th place. I don't know. I feel like they can end up in the playoff, in the top 6. I still feel that way, especially with all these home games coming up. So how do you feel? Where do you think the Kings are going to place? Do you think they're going to be in the top 6 in the playoffs, or do you think they're going to be in the play-in? Or do you feel like they're not going to make the playoffs at all? Comment below. Let me know. Comment below. And as always, guys, I ask you, if you're still watching this video to this point, please like the video. You must have liked something that I said. You must like the analysis news or something. Click that like button. It helps out the channel. It helps me grow. Also, subscribe. Please subscribe. Consider subscribing to my channel. If you like hearing Sacramento Kings talk, Sacramento Kings news, anything about the Sacramento Kings, basketball in general, I ask you, please subscribe. I have some pretty interesting content and some entertaining things coming up, and we're going to do some live games as well and some live chat. So please subscribe to the channel. Thank you. It also helps me grow. And if you can, share the content. Why not? Share the content. Post it at any of your social media. Be like, hey, look at this guy. He talks Kings. Or you could talk mess about me. I don't care. Just post this content for me somewhere. Share it. I appreciate it. And as always, comment. That helps as well. Help me kick the algorithm's ass. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. Thanks, guys. And I have a motivational quote for you guys today. I like this quote. Something I found on the internet by John C. Maxwell. And it goes like this. You will never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine. You will never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine. That's a good one. I really like that quote by John C. Maxwell. Your routine and your habits are what you're good at. Whatever you do daily, whatever you practice at, that's what you're going to perfect. And that's pretty much all that I have for you guys today. Like I said earlier, I really appreciate you joining me. I appreciate you watching this far. Hopefully you liked the video. Hopefully you subscribe to me so you can see more of my reviews in the future. And I just really want to say thank you for joining me on the latest episode of The Kings morning after. Midday cup of Joe with Jay. Ah, yeah, that's a good cup of Joe. After that, 39 points. But anyway, that's all I have. And I'm out. But before you go, check out my moves. It's good.